The lesson.
Oh yeah.
As you've started, putting pen to paper, how did things progress from there? Like, at what point did you actually start recording music?
Well, the first time I ever recorded a song was when I was about 14, like a proper song. My cousin was a singer for Sex and Chocolate, which was like they did covers and shit back in the day, and he actually got murdered on Christmas Eve, and he was the reason why I pretty much pursued music. I recorded my first song, and he was like my idol, and he was like, bro, you've got this, like, you're pretty good. And I thought I was shit back then. Like, obviously repetition is the father of learning, and you're like, the more you practice, the more better you get. So yeah, I was a shit rapper to start with, and cunts were always like, stop rapping, you're shit, or all this shit, and I didn't listen, and now here we are. And cunts still say I'm a shit cunt, but anyways, I'm still here, and I'm gonna keep going.
So at the age that you've started penning stuff and started to rap, you've been going back and forth from your mum's crib to foster care.
Yeah.
And so did you find that the rapping was therapeutic for you, like the writing, because of the shit that you were going through?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's my vice. It's my counselling sessions. So like when I'm feeling like down or whatever, which we all do because I'm human, that's when I like to write. And it's like Don't Cry and those songs, they it was like a release for me, like once they're like out of you and on a bit of paper or whatever, and then you actually record the song, it's almost like a weight gets lifted, for me anyway.
When you were in foster care, what is it that made you, like, I guess, act up and sneak out and go back to your mum's or get kicked out of foster care?
Because I just didn't like authority, and I looked at my life as a massive adventure. So I used to love like running away and like sleeping in abandoned houses and like breaking into cars and sleeping in them, and it was like the world was my oyster, and I was just go to the city and fucking actually like a stripper took me in when I was living on the streets, but it was by choice. I just ran away, so it's not like I fucking didn't have a house to go to. But yeah, I met her on this whenever she finished work. I didn't know who the fuck she was, but I was sitting on down on the thing having a banger. I asked her for some money, and then I told her my story. She's like, just come stay with me. And she was kind of like a surrogate mother for a bit. And no, I didn't have sexual intercourse with her. I was only young. I wanted to, but she didn't want to, which sucked. But anyway, so shout outs to Candy, which was her name. I don't know her real name, but you're probably like 50 now, over the hill. But thank you, wank you, and I'll always remember your kindness.
And then, so if at 14 is when you recorded like your first song, that I'm guessing that obviously was never released or anything like that.
No.
How did things from there progress to you actually taking it seriously? Like, how many songs or sessions did you do before you decided, okay, I'm going to actually have a proper go at this?
Probably the next couple sessions after. I went by the name of St. James back in the day. And yeah, just like kind of trying to find myself artistically. I didn't really know what I was doing or what kind of sound I wanted. But as I progressed, I realized you're never going to be great if you try and sound like everybody else. You have to start your own sound, your own noise, your own vibe or style, which is what I did with Lil Sick. And yeah, you either love me or hate me. I'm like caviar cunt, You either love me or hate me. I'm an acquired taste, but once you get the taste, you can't get enough. Trust.
So then, at what point did you change your name to Lil Sick? And why Lil Sick?
Well, after St. James, I became Waka, which was like when I was singing more, kind of like I showed him a track when I had dreads and shit, and yeah, I love to sing as well, but it kind of didn't really work. It worked, but it didn't work. And then I was doing a show at Island of Sin on the Goldie as Waka, and I did a show there, and I met Sesh there. And Sesh was like an idol of mine. He came up with like all the famous cunts in NZ that rap, like Scribe and all them. He's a real good producer. He actually produced pretty much all my shit. And yeah, I met him and Will Singe. I don't know if you know who Will Singe is. He's a singer. Yeah, them, and actually had a funny conversation with them because he knew I was Waka, but like we were talking and shit, and I'd already released something under Lil Sick, but it was the first Lil Sick song that I produced myself, and it was like poor budget, like shitty camera. I filmed it, edited it. I don't know what the fuck I was doing. But those boys saw it, and I was just talking to them, and they're like, bro, do you know this guy Lil Sick? And I was like, what, cunt? And he's like, do you know Lil Sick? And I'm like, I am Lil Sick. And they're like, what? No, you're not. And I'm like, yeah, I am. And so I showed them the picture of the old song. He's like, bruh, we need to work. So he said, remake that song, I'll do it for you, which was Lil Sick, cunt. And yeah, we did it all properly. Like he did it all. And the rest is history. So he's the one pretty much that told me to bring Lil Sick back and start it up again. And yeah, I did. And then we just went to work. I think I released 3 albums in like a year. So yeah, about a year. 2020 I released 2, and at the end of 2019 I released my first one, Why So Sick.
Yeah, right. And then so I guess if you were to try to describe your style to somebody that hasn't heard your shit, how would you describe it?
Well, pretty much if you get some fucking nails and you put them on a chalkboard, scrape them down there, that's what my music sounds like. I don't know, it's different, but if you listen properly, you can hear the bars. I've got more serious shit coming out. I just like making satire rap and being a funny cunt. I just enjoy it. I don't have to. I can, I can make pretty much any genre of music, even fucking opera if I wanted to. But like I'm just doing this shit, and eventually, everything will come together where I'll be singing a lot as Lil Sick and just mesh it all in together. And I'm working on a new album at the moment called Heroin Baby. So it's going to be like all just a pretty much dark album. So it's all just going to be kind of like deep shit, kind of like a Husky vibe. Shout out to Husky, loves ya, favourite fucking rapper #1. Welcome back to the public. I think he's free now, so that's great. Stay out of jail, dickhead.
The lesson. Oh yeah.